know what the strategy that they're both doing at them right now.
Yeah, Max has been in front. He passed Josh. Josh is now in fourth. So Jake was probably about 5 to 10 seconds off the back of Max. So they aren't actually sitting hip on hip and getting that draft in and working together in that say. Jake's had to do a fair bit of work. He's been able to chase, for that whole time, trying to get to that point. And that, so they're slowly just edging a little bit of time out of him as we speak.
And here's Ashley Gentle, who continues to claw her way towards the front, aiming for number 9. She was patient on the bike. She didn't get distracted by the others, particularly when she was on the Garmin climb. She just stuck to her own race strategy. She has now actually hit the front. So she's overtaken Amelia Watkinson, and Ash Gentle just chews up Noosa.
Honestly, I'm shaking my head because she's done it time and time again this year, and I did expect her, obviously we all expected her to do it here today, but I did not expect her to take the lead so early on. I thought it'd take a little bit longer, but she's in the box seat right now, and I cannot see this lead changing for the rest of the race.
And what about Charlie Quinn? He's still holding on to what Toby says is roughly a 30-second gap. He's inside the last 2.5 kilometres, and he's shown no signs of faltering.
He looks fantastic. I mean, look at, if you get close up, he looks so relaxed, so in control. He's breathing nice and steady. You're not seeing that big heaving. He's got no pressure on him right now. So there's no pressure, which is good, because once that pressure comes from the guys we know that are coming towards him, Jake Birtwistle for one, I think he'll have an extra gear because he's not into that yet. I think Charlie Quinn's got at least 2 or 3 extra gears to go.
And this is a really quick tempo. Last year, the fastest run split for the 10 kilometres was 29.33. To run sub 3-minute Ks off the back of the swim and the bike, it is outstanding.
I'll be really interested to see what the run splits are today, because you can see out there still no wind. Those trees are lifeless. So it's really, really fast conditions. We saw fast swims today. We've seen fast bike rides. And I think we're in to see some fast run splits as well.
And 2 Ks to go for Charlie Quinn.
I can't see him getting beaten from here. I mean, as I said, he's out of sight, out of mind on this loop section. He'll now turn right and then right again, and he'll be out onto Noosa Parade. And really, once you get to Noosa Parade, he's got about just under 2 kilometres to go, and it's very hard. I mean, Jake's going to have to pull something special out now if he wants to catch Charlie Quinn.
What do you make of the fact that he ignored the feed station? He didn't even feel the need to grab a cup of water and throw it over his head. That, to me, reads he's well within himself.
I agree. It wasn't desperation. He didn't miss that aid station because he thought he needed to keep going. He's done it because he feels good, he's in control, and it's exactly what we're seeing.
And speaking of control, this is control at its very best. Ashley Gentle dominating the Noosa Triathlon. She is the queen of this event. Won it for the first time in 2012.
Yeah, she really is. 2012, she then won it from 2014 all the way through to 2019. Of course, we weren't able to hold the event in 2020. Came back last year, won it again, and is looking highly likely to be crowned the Noosa Queen for the 9th time here today.
And for Charlie Quinn going for his first, the battle behind him between Max Newman and Jake Birtwistle, they'll be at the point now where they're starting to think about the battle between each other. In fact, Jake Birtwistle has cleared out through the 7.5 kilometre checkpoint. He's broken the elastic of Max Newman, and now Jake Birtwistle is clear on the road in 2nd spot.
And look, hats off to Max Newman. This is incredible racing from him. I'm really surprised. I thought that we would actually see him not go backwards, just not be able to keep up with the likes of Birtwistle and some of these younger guys that are fresh and have got fast legs. But Max Newman having a great race out there today. But I think Jake Birtwistle, he's the only man that could threaten this young man on screen right now. But he's going to have to run one of the fastest run splits he's ever run to do that.
It's going to be a big last 2 kilometres for Jake Birtwistle if he's able to close it down on Charlie Quinn. What we do know about the Tasmanian is there'll be no retreat, no surrender. He'll take it all the way to the finish line and keep challenging Charlie. So there's that psychological barrier for Charlie. He hasn't won here before. Jake has in the past. The pressure is on out in front.
And, I got to speak to Jake earlier this week, and he was so disappointed not to be able to come here and race last year. He was our 2019 champion. He really wanted to come back in 2021, but just the way it worked, he was fresh out of 2 weeks stint in quarantine and just felt like he wasn't in any position or shape to race. So great to have him back this year. But look at the face. Look at the facial markers on Charlie Quinn. He looks like he's done this a million times. He really does look good.
Well, I've seen people in a park run doing a gentle recovery run look more stressed than Charlie Quinn.
Hey, I run 6-minute K-pace this way and I look more stressed than that.
Likewise with Ashley Gentle, Charlie Quinn looks fantastic. This will be a big step forward in his career.
It's unbelievable. It really will. This will be the win of his career thus far. He really has had a great career.
It's for the age group on the other side, just starting the bike leg with a mechanical problem. Looked like a puncher.
Oh, no. Which is surprising because you can see now, beautiful, fresh-laid tarmac there. Back with Jack Moody from New Zealand.
Jack Moody closing in for a top 5 finish for Jack Moody. He's been moving pretty well. He's been chewing a few up as he made the transition off the bike out onto the run.
And that's exactly what Jack Moody does. Every time he hits a start line, he's just such an accomplished runner.
And in the women's race, it's Ashley Gentle who leads. She's opened up a handicap now ahead of Amelia Watkinson, Hannah Knighton in 3rd position, Jessica Ewart-McTeague in 4th, Charlotte McShane 5th, Emma Hogan in 6th, and it is Felicity Sheedy-Ryan in 7th spot. That's the update from the 2.5 kilometre marker. Ashley Gentle is a lot further down the road now.
And she's just made that turn, that far turn. So it's going to be very, very interesting. She's going to see now exactly where all her competition is. Not that she's going to stress about it, but it gives her competition an opportunity to see how far in front she is. But Ash Gentle doing everything right. And look at that, just cruising. She's on cruise control.
My car's cruise control isn't that comfortable. Is Charlie Quinn. He's in a familiar territory now. He's on the outskirts of Noosa. If you're in one of these properties, you don't need to use a car too often. You can walk to Hastings Street.
Walk to Hastings Street. Most of these properties have just a little Vespa that they can get around on. But look at this man. I cannot see Jake Birtwistle. I cannot see anyone in the distance there. So something tragic would have to happen for this young man not to win here today. He's not that far from home. Looking at where we are right now, he is very shortly, you can see the tri-tents, that's where all the tri-tents are year after year. He is very, very close to the Garth Proud Bridge.
Well, I can see the red colours of Max Newman now in the distance.
He's really having a go.
Jake Birtwistle is just a little bit further behind. So they are closing in on Charlie Quinn. The gap is closing down. It's not over yet.
It's not over.
Noosa 39th edition, the Garmin Noosa Triathlon is still alive and well.
Did you look then? It looks, just as you said that, it looked like Charlie Quinn just upped his cadence ever so slightly. And I think what you'll see now is once he gets to that Garth Proud Bridge, that's probably the only part of the entire course where there's a little bit of a climb. But once you get down the other side, you can see he's right there now. So this is the one spot on the run course where it's just that little bit of elevation, but he'll go down the other side and then it's that clean run right to the finish. So Maxie Newman's going to run out of real estate here.
He's throwing everything he possibly can at it. Now it's the downhill run to home, off the back of the Garth Proud Bridge. He's inside the last few 100 metres. This has been big by Charlie Quinn. Great race by Charlie.
Charlie Quinn, folks. Let's make some noise, Noosa. We're bringing home our 2022 Garmin Noosa Triathlon champion, Charlie Quinn. The race of his life in 2022. The champion, Charlie Quinn. What a performance of the young man. He comes down 2nd place. What a run it's been. He was 3 weeks ago 4th at the biggest dance in the world. We call it the IRONMAN World Championship. Max Newman will cross the line in 2nd place. The proud Queenslander has gone back. But what about Charlie Quinn? Without a doubt, the race of his life. We're going to have a quick word with our 2022 champion. And what about Jacob Birtwistle? Come on, he's an Olympic athlete. He's a Commonwealth Games gold medalist, a 2-times finisher and champion, I should say, at Noosa. He will wrap up our podium. Jacob Birtwistle. Well, we are down on our finish line. What a champion performance. Charlie, the smile, says a massive, massive story. We're just going to get a photo with him before they want the photo with the Noosa banner, our 2022 champion. Josh Ferris has come back from injury. What a return to racing, Josh. Great work, buddy. Coached by his dad, Mick. Great work, buddy. Coached by his dad, Mick, one of the great Ironman athletes in the past. But our 2022 champion, Charlie Quinn, Congratulations, mate. What a performance. Without a doubt, the race of your life.
Yeah, I'm a bit shocked, to be honest. I knew I was in good form, but yeah, to beat Jake and Max and even Josh is, yeah, it's a surprise, but yeah, a good one.
Mate, talk us through your race. The swim, great swim, dominating bike, and you're running up front. Were you running scared, or were you just, you knew you were in control?
Yeah, I just said get to the 5K mark and then reassess from there. And I turned and expected Jake to be right there, but then I saw and he had actually about 30 seconds back, so I thought, we're on here, and just if you just hold your pace, you can win. So yeah, I didn't really, just ran my own race and hope that Jake and Max weren't going to catch me.
Mate, this race is 39 years old. It's got some of the world's best athletes on that honour board. You mentioned Jake, Aaron Royal recently, but you know, Craig Walden, 6 times champion, Brad Bevan, they're all on this board. What does it mean to you, young man, to be on that honour board now?
Yeah. I've been coming here since I was probably 15, and I used to watch, I think it was, you know, Aaron Royal and Ryan Bailey and some of the older guys, and think that's where I want to get to. And it's been like a 5-year journey, and now I'm actually there, you know, I'm like up there with them. So it's, yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's a dream come true, really.
Mate, I had the pleasure of knowing your mum and dad really well. I mean, are they in the crowd today? Are they part of your celebration?
Yeah, yep. My whole family's here, so that's cool. Extra motivation, I guess. Yeah, Dad doesn't get to watch me race much, so it's cool that he's here to actually support, and he was cheering me on, so yeah, it's good.
Mate, your coach and yourself also got a good relationship. It's so important for a great result. I mean, and your partnership today has proven that your coach and yourself have a great combination with a big win.
Yeah, yep. I've just changed coaches actually to Tim Burkle, so first race with him, so I think it's 1 from 1. So.
Oh my God! Watch out, Noosa. Burks is now super coach. Oh God, that's unbelievable. But Charlie, what a performance today, mate! Congratulations. I really am a big fan, and well done.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Cheers.
All right, there he is, guys. Back to, of course, Matty Keenis, Kurt McDonald across the line, and Belinda Granger. Back to you guys in the central commentary position.
Thanks, Pete. I loved hearing that from Charlie Quinn. What an incredible time. 1 hour, 43 minutes and 12 seconds. 4 minutes faster than last year. We're waiting on Luke William to come across the finish line. We thought might be a disappointing day for him, but he might actually go quicker than he did 12 months ago.
Just shows you it's been really, really great conditions, and it continues to be great conditions out there for our professional women and also our age groupers who are just starting the day off as our professional women are making their way back towards the finish line. Ash Gentle looking incredible, just as she did as she left transition. Tobes, are you back down there?
Yeah, we've got the girls. They're just passing that 6 kilometre mark, so they're about to. Well, Ash is going to head into that into the streets there. A picture of perfection. She is in really good control out there, out front. Amelia Watkinson hasn't really lost a lot of time from that period up to around back, so she's quite strong there. It's the 3rd, 4th, and 5th battle that's going to take place. It's going to be quite interesting. I'm just following behind Charlotte McShane. She's in that 5th spot. And she's the one that's looking the best out of all the girls in that 3rd, 4th and 5th area. So it's going to be a little bit of a battle there, and it's going to be interesting to watch as they come towards you guys.
Thanks, Toby. The front of the race is playing out as expected with Ashley Gentle, Belinda Granger. But you mentioned before we got underway, Amelia Watkinson would be really strong on the bike. She has been. Has her run been better than you expected?
Definitely has been better. I know that she's incredibly fit. She's always really, really fit. So I think that's getting her through right now. But great to see her still holding on. And like Toby said, not losing any time. And it'll be really interesting to see the likes of Charlotte McShane. We know that she's one of the fastest runners out on course, to see just how many of the women up front that she can pluck off over this remaining 5 kilometres.
And just recently, Luke William has gone across the finish line, 7th position. Finish line, 7th position. Last year was A+. It was an outstanding performance. On a roll forever, and I'm sure he'll be back in one of the contenders in 12 months' time. Ashley Gentle, it has been a textbook performance. What execution. She swam as solid as you could like, quickest through T1 and T2, made up time through T2, 10 seconds quicker through the transition than Amelia Watkinson, and she's mowed everybody down in the run.
Oh, look, and as I said, incredible career that she's had, incredible season that she's had this year. I know that she's, I'm not sure she'll like me saying that she's got a hens do coming up in the next couple of days in Noosa. So what a way to start celebrations, to take a win in your 9th Noosa Triathlon, straight into the hens do, and then, of course, straight into the wedding 2 weeks later.
And then off to the honeymoon.
And then off to the honeymoon, that's right. Beautiful.
As asked her a couple of days ago, what did two of the world's best triathletes do on their honeymoon? They'll probably go for a few runs. Amelia Watkinson, she's running
She looks
really
great.
well.
She looks really strong. She's still nice and upright. She's always had that slightly loping style when she runs, so she's never had that turnover that a lot of our more traditional runners have had, but she still looks really, really good.
Well, she looks as good now.
That she did when she started, I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
In
really
fact, she
does.
almost looks better.
And I think this is her endurance. You know, she's better over that longer distance, so that half-distance racing, and I think her endurance is starting to kick in right now in the latter stages of this run.
Well, she's down to the last 3 kilometres. She deserves to hold on to a spot on the podium. She's got Hannah Knighton, who is breathing down her neck. So Hannah Knighton, another one of the Kiwis. So the Kiwis doing really well in the women's race. They could occupy second and third spot. Knighton got off to a great start. What a fantastic swim it was by Hannah.
Yeah, and as I said, we didn't know too much about Hannah coming into this race, and I had to do a little bit of research, and she's definitely an Olympic distance and sprint distance racer, so she races a lot of the World Triathlon events. Bergen in Norway, that was a World Cup event. That was her first World Cup appearance. So just starting out, but doing a really, really good job here today.
As we're watching Ashley Gentle, I can just hear in the background some of the encouragement from...
It's fantastic, isn't it? It's, you know, all the age groupers, they've got their own races to worry about, but they're still cheering on all their fans, cheering on the pro athletes.
And a couple of their support crew just heckling one of them. I heard somebody yelling out to one of their friends, "Come on, hurry up."
What are you doing? Surely you can go faster than that.
It's always a lot of fun, the banter post-race as well, as everybody dissects what happened to you today, and everybody's got their own story.
Their own story, all the excuses. You often, when you go up to the Noosa Surf Club this afternoon, it'll be absolutely packed to the rafters. And that's when people would have, could have, should have, and they all come back next year to try it all again.
Well, what we know about today's race, it was super, super quick. There were ideal conditions. It was a super fast swim. The bike leg clearly was quick, but the run by Charlie Quinn, a time that was 4 minutes faster than last year, that was a blistering time by Charlie.
It really was. And just great. You know, this time last week, Noosa was not the Noosa we know and love. The Sunshine Coast was certainly not the sunny coast, but hasn't it turned it on this weekend?
What I think that Charlie Quinn will really like about that run is he ran at the same pace
From
as
the
Jake
start,
Birtwistle.
yes, yeah,
so
really good.
The gap between he and Jake as they exited transition stayed the same at the finish line. And Jake's one of the Australian benchmarks. He's one of the best in the world.
He's world class. You can see now Ash is just about to finish that loop that we spoke about.
And I like that she made sure she got the cup into the bin. Recycling still on her mind with 2 kilometres to run.
That's an athlete that has all the time in the world. You know, they don't need to. They've got the time to make sure it goes in the bin. She knows that she has a very, very solid lead. There's no one behind her. She has a quick look. Did you see that? Has a little quick look, just to see if she could see anyone.
She need good eyesight to see anybody behind her.
Absolutely.
She need to be able to see around corners.
Isn't that true? As we can see, Amelia Watkinson.
She's been really impressive, Amelia Watkinson.
I would love to see Amelia hold on to second here. But as I said, if she can, as long as she makes that podium, I know that she'll be very, very happy with her comeback.
Her bike leg was outstanding. And for you, based on the injury that she had on the elbow, was the strong performance in the swim the most surprising?
It really was, because I had no idea how her swimming was going to be. And again, it wasn't even the swimming. She could have been back in the pool for quite some time now. It's the lack of race practice that she'd had. She hasn't raced in many, many months. And you know as well as I do, you can do all the training in the world and you can be hitting all the numbers in the world. But if you don't have that race simulation, it can be very, very difficult on race day. So she had a solid swim. She had an outstanding bike ride. And now she's finishing it off with a really, really good run.
Race day is a totally different beast.
It really is. And again, she is now making her way back out onto Noosa Parade, has a quick check over her shoulder, as you do.
But the right spot to choose to take the look, as she's making the 90-degree right-hand turn, it's a lot less disruptive to your running when you take the look then. But if she was to take a look now, it would really slow her down. That's exactly the way she rode the bike. She didn't take any looks across the shoulder. Yeah,
you're dead right. And now, you know, it's a straight shoot to home. They're back on Noosa Parade. She's just got to get up and over this one little bridge. Then we've got the Garth Proud Bridge, which Ash is now heading towards. But really, once you get to this position on the run, Matt, you need to focus on front and not what's going on behind.
Well, not too far away from the finish. Into Noosa heads for Amelia Watkinson. Ashley Gentle, she's had one more drink. Just inside the last 2 kilometres for Ashley Gentle, but she remains ever the professional, because staying hydrated, making sure you don't completely deplete yourself, helps with the recovery, even though the recovery is into the off-season.
Well, she knows she's got a good couple of weeks coming up, big couple of weeks coming up ahead with her wedding, so she's taking care of herself, and she's got the time to do so.
So over the second last bridge before they hit the famous Garth Proud Bridge, and then it's a downhill run to the finish. Ashley Gentle on target for Noosa number 9.
And so we know Ash is well and truly on her way back to the Garth Proud Bridge, which she'll go up and over and then straight down that infamous blue carpet to the finish. We know we've got Pete Murray down on ground. We'll make sure that we cross to him once we get right to the finishing metres of the run.
Well, Pete Murray has called pretty much all of Ashley Gentle's wins here. Maybe the first couple, it was the great Benny Pike that got to call her across the line, but Pete has certainly been involved. Pete could just bring back the recording from the last couple for Ashley Gentle and slot that in and go and have a coffee.
He could be up here in VIP just with his feet up, exactly.
He could be enjoying himself a first batch.
He wouldn't want to miss it. You know, Pete Murray, he loves it. You can see he has just as much enthusiasm and excitement in his voice and now that he did 10 years ago. So I'm sure he's going to be wanting to be down there in the action.
This is at third place. This is Hannah Knight, and she has been outstanding. It was a brilliant swim, solid on the bike, and she hasn't lost much at all on the run.
No, and I'm sure right now in those long straight sections, she may even be able to catch a glimpse of Amelia Watkinson. So it's going to be a very tight race between these women at the end.
And none of us picked Hannah Knighton for a spot on the podium.
No, not at all. As I said, I really didn't know too much about her at all. I had to have a quick glance through her Insta page, and I got to see a little bit of what she's done this year, but having a really great race. And you never know, when it's the first time here for someone, it could go either way. You know, you race really, really well, or it's all just a bit too much. But Hannah having a great day out there so far. And
the fact that Hannah wasn't picked by any of us to finish on the podium is one of the beauties of sport.
That's why we love it. That's why we love it.
The original reality TV, it's unpredictable. If it was easy to pick the top 3 every single time, it wouldn't be anywhere near as entertaining.
No, it wouldn't. And we always have that dark horse that comes through.
Huge group of athletes in the blue colours smiling for Smitty, the platinum charity partner of the Noosa Triathlon, as they have been since 2010.
This is one of the best parts of the run course. Off to your right, this is where all the tri-tents, in about another 50 metres, you can see all the tri-tents, and she'll get so much support.
Plenty of the age groupers on the way out, just starting the run. I'm spotting them all, just starting the Garmin, getting ready to make sure they're staying at their kilometre tempo.
Yeah, making sure that they stay on track. Garmin, of course, our naming sponsor here today, they've been incredible.
Second look across the shoulder for Ashley Gentle.
And isn't it funny, even though you know, and when you're in this position, you know that you've got it won, but it's always that little bit in the back of your mind that says, I'm just going to have a quick check just to be absolutely sure.
Well, Pete Murray, the leader, Ashley Gentle, she is just about onto the Garth Proud Bridge. She's doing it for the 9th time, and you get to call her home again. It's over to you.
Yeah, what a privilege this is. We are witnessing history once again, year after year, race after race. This amazing Aussie, this amazing Queenslander will come down over the Garth Proud Bridge. She's on the bridge now. I'm sure she's getting a lot of love from above, from the godfather, of course, of triathlon in Garth Proud. But Ash Gentle is the real deal. We talk about royalty. Well, she's definitely reinstated her claim as the Queen of Noosa. So let's make some noise, Noosa. She's on her way home. Bang those boards. Make some noise for the Queen, our champion in 2022. The Garmin Noosa Triathlon champion for 9 times. Give it up for Ashley Gentle. Woo! 3 cheers for Ashley. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. There she is, Josh Ann Berger. Her fiancé, soon-to-be husband, celebrating style 9 times. And to win the Noosa Triathlon once is special. To win it twice is amazing. But to win it 9 times is freakish. We're going to have a word very quickly or very shortly with Ash Gentle. We'll keep our eyes on the big screen. Big thanks to Matty Keenan, of course, BG, Granger for their unbelievable coverage. I'll be back shortly to wrap it up. But what a performance from this young lady as she comes down. Amelia Watkinson has gone through a nightmare couple of months, but today she comes back to the big arena. She'll come back with a second podium from New Zealand. She is based on the Sunshine Coast. What a race today. Amelia Watkinson, number 2 at the Garmin Noosa Tri. I tell you what, Ashley worked hard for that one. But Amelia Watkinson, what a comeback. Congratulations. Right, we're going to talk to our Queen of Noosa very shortly. We're just going to bring home the final member of our podium today on our female elite side. What a day it was. It started at 6:15 this morning on Noosa Beach. It was absolutely postcard material. Over 10,000 athletes on the beach. The conditions were perfect for this 1.5 kilometre 2 times Hughes swim. We saw some fast times. We saw smoking hot bike times, and it did come down to the 10K ASICS run. On the male side, Charlie Quinn, he served his apprenticeship and now claims the top title. Ash Gentle, no apprenticeship needed. And number 3, folks, is on her way, so Noosa, don't go quiet. Let's make some noise to wrap up our podium. Hannah Knighton will go under 2 hours by 1 second. Good on you, Hannah. But definitely the race of her life. She stops the Garmin. She looks up with a 1:59 and 57 seconds. She breaks 2 hours. Remarkable racing on our female elite side. And we are now going to talk to our 2022 champion. Do I need to bow? Do I need to go down for the Queen? I don't have to. The Queen of Noosa, Ashley Gentle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And today, number 9. Congratulations, beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, that's a bit emotional when you count it down like that. But yeah, it's been a really good year. So it's pretty different to where I was last year. So I guess the last 12 months for me, I feel like I'm a completely different person. So I'm really happy that I can celebrate that with everyone here at Noosa Tri.
I said it before, Ash, to win 1 is amazing at Noosa. You're etched in history on one of the biggest leaderboards ever. But your name is now 9 times. 9th win, is it just as special as the first and every other one before?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, this is, I guess, the end of such an amazing year for me. So every year means something new and something different, and everyone is special.
You chose not to go to the World Championships in Utah. This is your home, Noosa. You love Noosa, of course, great results. But this race and Ashley Gentle go hand in hand, and you absolutely love Noosa. The course suits you. The crowd are amazing. The course is spectacular. Ash, no, what else can we say?
I don't know. I just like to thank everyone out there giving me cheers. I had so many people on the race course, you know, racing themselves, but encouraging me right to the end. And I guess that's what Noosa Tri is all about. And why wouldn't you come back every time?
Your fiancé, future husband in a couple of weeks, Josh Amberger, have family and friends like our age groupers out there. It's what it's all about in Noosa. You share the celebrations, whether you're the champion or not. You've got to have your family and friends, and Josh today is part of your team.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess everyone here in Australia the past few years with the pandemic, it hasn't been easy for everyone. So I hope everyone really soaks up Noosa Tri this year and appreciates everyone around them and the fact that we're able to come together and celebrate as usual in 2022.
And finally, the final question is a pretty obvious one. Number 10 in 2023.
Yeah, of course. I'll always come back. So, I'll be here.
What about our folks? Give it up for Ashley Gentle, 9 times champion here in Noosa. What a performance today. Congratulations, as always, to Ashley Gentle. Back to you, Matt Keenan, up in the commentary.
Thanks, Pete. I'm going to mark her in, Belinda Granger. The favourite for next year for the 40th anniversary is Ashley Gentle.
Absolutely. I think we can all agree on that one. I don't think there'll be any discussion whatsoever over that.
Okay, beyond the performance of Ashley Gentle, second place Amelia Watkinson, third place Hannah Knighton. I didn't expect either of them as being favourites on the podium, but they both were quicker than Ashley Gentle's win in this race last year.
That's right, all of them going under that magical 2-hour mark, so incredible racing. Amelia Watkinson, I'm just so impressed by her run. She kept it under control. So much of the unknown, as we can see Emma Hogan now making her way across the finish line.
Empty, 6th spot for Emma Hogan. On debut, that's a good start. I'm sure she'll be back next year.
Oh, definitely, and she's only starting out, 22 years of age. She's a baby in the sport as compared to Ash. Me too.
I love this
I
from
love
Ashley
this.
Gentle.
Camaraderie.
She's waiting for everybody to finish. She's the first there to congratulate and support.
Do you know, it's funny, I've been in this sport for so long. I remember it was the other way than when Emma Hogan was the young Ash Gentle coming across for the first line, and it was the likes of Emma Snowsill or Emma Carney giving those hugs, or Carolyn Steffen. And now to see the role reversal, to see Ash Gentle as the one going back, as the queen of Noosa, going back and giving our young up-and-coming athletes the hug and saying, you know what, great first-time effort. And that's what I love about sport.
This is Felicity Sheedy-Ryan coming through to the finish. Does she ever not smile?
No, and look, I think she's just so happy to be back on a race course. Hasn't been able to race outside of WA for 3 years. This is her first race out of the state, so she's so happy just to be here. She loves Noosa. She spent a lot of time here in the past, so again, her run got her through. Great run from her today.
A 7th spot today for Felicity Sheedy-Ryan. So it's Ashley Gentle going out the winner of the women's race. Amelia Watkinson in 2nd. Hannah Knighton in 3rd. Charlotte McShane 4th. A great return, the first time here since 2016. She's had a lot of injury to overcome.
She has, and of course we know that she's only just changed coaches. She's moved to the Gold Coast. A lot of big changes for Charlotte McShane, now coached by Dan Atkins on the Gold Coast. So I think 4th place today, she came home with that stellar run as we expected. That's a really solid outing for Charlotte McShane.
For her, we talk about a lot of athletes going into the off-season. For Charlotte McShane, I see this as a launching pad for 2023.
No, I do too. It's a new beginning for her. You know, normally when you've only been for the coach for the month, there's been a lot of changes. You don't know what way it's going to go. So I think she did really well today.
And we're also now seeing a lot of the age groupers make their way through the finish line. Plenty of them heading out. One of the riders in the blue colours smiling for Smitty. No rush. Settle into your rhythm. It's still a hot day ahead.
It really is, and we know that it'll be interesting to see what Ash Gentle does now, whether she comes up here to VIP, because really she should be staying down on course and cheering on her father and her 2 brothers who are out there doing a team. So I'm sure that's where her energy is going to go right now.
That could be the alarm clock for when she then gets to come up to the VIP area and watch everybody else come through to the finish.
And look at that. That just shows you. That was Jeff Meyer down on the finish line. The managing director
of the event, of Ironman Oceania, and he is at the finish line assisting athletes through to the cooling off area. They've got sprinkle showers for them to be able to go through. No task is too big or too small for Jeff Meyer.
It really isn't. And, you know, you lead by example, and that's why his team is like that. I see it time and time again here at the Noosa Triathlon. The team works like clockwork. It's effortless. And every year when I think they've reached their peak, they do something better, and that's why I cannot wait for the 40th anniversary next year, because honestly, it's going to be the greatest event we've ever seen.
How do you make it bigger?
I know, well, this is what I say every year, and every year they manage to do it. So, you know, I've learned to say never to anything here at Noosa Tri, but honestly, when you get weather like this on the Sunshine Coast, this is why I moved up here. It's why so many people have migrated north from Victoria and from New South Wales, because it's just, on a day like today, this is when Noosa shines. It's
debrief time, back of house. Ashley Gentle, the winner. Next to her was Amelia Watkinson in the greenish camouflage sort of a colour. The Kiwi, she was so good on the bike. She was the best bike league today.
She was, and I knew she would be, because I know that it's been something she's really been concentrating on over the last year or so. And not just because of this accident she had in June, but also she's had a lot of injuries over the last couple of seasons, and she's been using her cycling to get her nice and strong again. And look, it's working.
Well, the key to triathlon is the consistency across each of the legs, and we saw Knighton was the fastest swimmer. We then had Watkinson, the fastest on the bike, but Ashley Gentle, she brought it home. She was the fastest run, but she was only just off the pace on the swim, only just off the pace on the bike.
She's the most consistent athlete, and we've seen it all year round. So, yeah, great race. But what a great podium, and one that we didn't pick, apart from the winner.
Yeah, the winner was... But that's what we love about sport, isn't it? When you can't get it right with the top 3 places. So it has been a fantastic result in the women's. Let's now head down to Pete Murray for the presentations.
Thanks very much, Matt Keenan and Belinda Granger. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the presentation of the Elite Women's presentation for the 2022 Garmin Noosa Triathlon. Presenting medals today will be Mare Claire Stewart. In third place at the 2022 Garmin Noosa Triathlon, Hannah Knighton. In second place at the 2022 Garmin Noosa Triathlon, from New Zealand, Amelia Watkinson. And ladies and gentlemen, in first place at the 2022 Garmin Noosa Triathlon, for the 9th time, the Queen of Noosa. Give it up for our champion, Ashley Gentle. What a performance today from Ashley Gentle, Amelia Watkinson and Hannah Knighton. 1, 2, 3 at the 2022 Garmin Noosa Triathlon. Congratulations, Ashley, once again on number 9. And now for the champagne celebration. There they are, our 1, 2 and 3. Congratulations. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back with all the action of the Garmin Noosa Triathlon for 2022. Stay tuned.
There are a lot of people from the southern states of Australia that when they come to Noosa, they spend a lot of time looking at the real estate windows because of that. Noosa, what a wonderful place it is.
Look, when we came up here originally, my husband and I, it was just to train full-time. We'd both given up our jobs, mine as a teacher, and we were full-time athletes. We knew we couldn't train full-time in Sydney. It just wasn't appropriate. So we moved up here thinking, oh, we'll move back eventually. We're not going to want to live here. I literally think it took 6 months, and we said, right, that's it. We sold our place down in Sydney, moved up here and haven't looked back.
And your whole family's up here as well. Mum and Dad have moved up, your cousins have moved up, and my wife is making eye contact with me, nodding her head, saying, yes, 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 that is a good decision. Well, the age groupers, they're still getting started. They've got the toughest conditions. It is 8:30 local time, and it's only getting hotter. Let's take a look at the result sheet, though, for the women. Ashley Gentle, that was expected. The highlight for me was second and third. Big surprises. Watkinson and Knighton, both under 2 hours. They were outstanding performances.
They were, and all three of those women going under that magical 2 hour mark. One, great racing from these women, and just shows you the great conditions we've got here today.
The top three all faster than the victory time last year for Ashley Gentle. Great to see Charlotte McShane back. after what has been a tough couple of years for her.
And probably the one disappointment, poor old Milan Agnew not having a race. She wanted coming in 9th place after 2nd place here last year. But as we said, that's racing.
Yeah, and she was one of the ones that you tipped as a smoky, and she just missed out. But she'll look at the results of this one and she'll see that the dark horses did manage to get up, so she'll be back hopefully for the 40th edition. And I like the idea of Ashley Gentle, number 10, in addition number 40.
It's got to be number 10.
It's got good symmetry to it.
It's got to be number 10. You know, as athletes, we're obsessive compulsive, where this is, you can't finish on 9. She'll be coming back for number 10 for sure.
Yeah, a lot of athletes with the volume on their television, it's either evens or multiples of 5. You've got to have everything well organised. That's the OCD in me anyway.
It's the OCD in me. I did often all the races. I made sure the races that I loved, I went back to 10 times. I think there's about 4 or 5 races that I did around the world where I made sure I got number 10.
And a lot of elite athletes are the sort of people that restack the dishwasher when they're not happy with how organised it is.
My husband was here right now, he'd be laughing because that's exactly what I do.
I like that outfit. The leopard never changes its spots.
I love it, I love it. And did you see that shot we had before of the Laguna Bay, Noosa Main Beach?
Magnificent.
Picture perfect.
Yeah, and the distinctive blue colours. It's a fantastic outfit as well for the Smiling for Smitty crew. They've got more than 100 people participating in this event. They've been the platinum charity partner for the Noosa Triathlon since 2010, and they've raised $14 million. They've changed a lot in the way we deal with skin cancer.
I know, they really have an incredible movement, and great to see so many athletes out there supporting.
And as we all know, particularly as Australians, slip, slop, slap, which is a campaign that you and I grew up with, the best way is prevention.
Absolutely. And especially when you get to my age, I don't step foot outside the house without putting sunscreen on now.
And you look at all the skincare products, the best skincare product is sunscreen lotion.
It really is.
The swim, it's a nice, smooth swim with great conditions, and it gets a little rougher though as the day goes on.
It does, but you know, we're at 8:30 now, and looking at those shots then that we had, still looks fantastic. Definitely a little choppier than what it was this morning, but look at that, guys. I mean, honestly, you could not ask for better.
There's been a slight delay in the men's presentation, but what we do know for sure is Charlie Quinn goes out the winner. In what was a blistering time, it was 4 minutes faster than last year's winning time. That is an incredibly quick performance by Charlie Quinn.
And he seemed to do it effortlessly.
The run was great. I'd love to look at the splits, the kilometre splits in his run, to see whether the tempo changed at all.
It really didn't look like it did.
No.
Even towards the end, he just looked so smooth all day long.
And what that tells us about his intellect as an athlete, because he wasn't running with a Garmin, and so often we see athletes run with a Garmin so they can set the pace based on watching the watch. He listened to the body clock.
He did, and you know, normally you see that with our younger athletes just because they don't have that race experience behind them, so they need the numbers to keep an eye on things, but it just shows the maturity of this young man.
Yeah, you'll see most of the age groupers, they'll be hitting the go button when they're on the bike, and they'll be right into wattage output.
Sticking
they'll
to those numbers.
They'll be hitting the go button on the Garmin on the watch when they start the run, trying to do whether it be 4K, 5K, 6K, whatever that pace is. It really is about measuring their own effort and trying to do their best performance. The support crews have got a big job ahead of them.
Honestly, I look back out there now, and of course our studio is in such a perfect spot right on that finish line. You look out there now, it's a beautiful day, so many spectators. We haven't seen this many spectators for quite some time now, as more and more of our age group athletes are making their way out of the swim, out of transition and onto their bikes. This will be the scene that we'll be seeing for quite some time yet.
It's hectic through transition. I know a few people have made the trip from Melbourne to come here for the first time to participate in the Noosa Triathlon, and some of them doing their first ever Olympic distance triathlon. I couldn't think of a better spot to make your debut.
No, if I was turning back the clocks, then I would definitely be choosing this as my very first Olympic distance try. You couldn't ask for a better location.
And this is an athlete coming into transition, getting the shoes off. Got to get the shoes off before you make that run. He's given us the wave as well. He's heard himself on the loudspeaker. The Garth Proud Bridge. Garth's one of the founders of this event in 1983, but he did a lot more for triathlon than create this event, didn't he?
He really did, and everyone that was a triathlete, that is a triathlete in Noosa, knows Garth Proud. I was lucky enough to meet him, and I also know, obviously, his family still live here and still play a very, very big part in this race. They're here every year, up in VIP supporting, but Garth Proud, an absolute ambassador for the sport of triathlon, and we owe him so much for this event.
And a quiet achiever in cycling. He was part of the initiative that created the ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast team. It's his two son-in-laws, Ben Kirsten and Matt Wilson, who are behind that, and they're inspired by that legacy. And that is a team that is based on having riders leave the team to go to a bigger one.
To a bigger one, knowing that they're a feeder team. And wasn't it great yesterday to see them take the win in both the men's and women's Open Australian Crit Championships?
Yeah, indeed it was. It's hectic out on the course now. More than 8,000 participants in this event. It is the biggest mass participation Olympic distance triathlon in the world. And to think that they had about 180 starters back in 1983.
It's honestly, it's truly incredible to think 8,000 competitors, and then I think something like 13,000 participants in all of the events over the weekend. Of course, starting with the run, swim, run on Wednesday, and finishing today with the Garmin Noosa Triathlon.
And two amazing patrons of the event, Dawn Fraser. She's always been a big supporter of this event right from the very start. And Mona, who we've spoken about quite a bit today, a fantastic ambassador for the event and for an active lifestyle. To see a guy at 60 pushing himself so hard, that can inspire everybody.
Oh, it really does. And it made me feel very, very bad when I was out there yesterday struggling to hold 5-minute game pace.
Come on, Belinda. You're on the honour roll. You're alongside the greats. In fact, you said yourself, it's so long ago, you weren't Granger.
I was Smith.
And it was last century.
Exactly, last century. It feels like it was last century.
Technology, we weren't talking about Elon Musk buying Twitter, we were talking about the Y2K bug.
Yeah, there was no Twitter. There was certainly no Instagram. I don't even think Facebook was around back then, but anyway.
No, it didn't exist. But your name stays on that honour roll forever. It's been a brilliant race. The men's race, the composure of Charlie Quinn to come back after finishing in the minor placings last year where he blew up in the run, to hold his tempo. New coach, his coach will be pretty happy.
Yeah, Tim Van Berkel. And of course, Tim Van Berkel's still a phenomenal athlete himself. He just recently raced at the Ironman World Championships in Kona. So great to have him up here supporting his athletes. But I think Tim's going to make a brilliant coach. He's just starting that transition across. He's definitely still a professional athlete, but I think down the tracks, once he decides to hang up his shoes, he's going to make a great coach.
Well, he's off to a really good start. And Charlie Quinn looks like one of those athletes that you know it's going to be progress each year, and that his great talent will be his discipline.
Because you can already see for someone at such a young age, he's already got that maturity. We see it. Obviously, I travel the world, and I have a lot to do with the professional athletes.
You travelled with him this year?
Yeah, no, but I've travelled with a lot of other younger athletes that remind me of Charlie Quinn. One that sticks out to mind, Magnus Ditlev. He's a young Dane who actually just finished third, I believe, at the 70.3 World Championships were on last night in St George. He's another young athlete, a little older than Charlie. I think he's 24 right now, but the same sort of calmness and maturity that you don't normally see at an athlete that age. That's more when you get to Ash Gentle's age, when you've had years and years of experience.
Well, you know that means they're not going to waste any energy by blowing up. If they do have an issue through transition or a mechanical problem, that they'll stay composed, which can save a race.
Absolutely, and I think he took home. Obviously, I always say there's no such thing as a failure in a race, as long as you can take one positive out of that. And I think Charlie's looked at his race from last year and he's like, how can I fix this? And he's done it.
As the great Billie Jean King has always said, you win some and you learn some, and Charlie learnt. He's about to step up on the podium in first place. Let's head back down to Pete Murray.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Belinda. It's great to be down at the presentation for the 2022 Garmin Noosa Triathlon. Some big news coming up for our number one when we announce him up on stage. But to present the medals today is Mayor Claire Stewart of Noosa. It's a great privilege to have her here presenting. Ladies and gentlemen, in third place at the 2022 Garmin Noosa Triathlon, give it up for Josh Ferris. In second place at the 2022 Garmin Noosa Triathlon in a time of 1:44.04, give it up for Jake Birtwhistle. And ladies and gentlemen, our first place at the 2022 Garmin Noosa Triathlon in a course record time, a record that has stood since 1997 by 6 times male champion Craig Walton of 1:44.13. Today, our champion with overall time of 1:43.12. Give it up for the 2022 Noosa Triathlon champion, Charlie Quinn. Congratulations to Charlie Quinn, a course record that stood since 1997, to Jake Birtwistle, a former champion here in Noosa, and to Josh Ferris, what a comeback. There's our top 3 here at the Garmin Noosa Triathlon for 2022. And now the champagne celebration. Before we throw back up for the wrap, we are going to get to our age groupers shortly. But the champagne celebration to Matt and Belinda. What about that, guys? A course record of 1:43.12 has been broken by the legend Craig Walton, who had the record since 1997. Back to you for the wrap, Matt.
Thanks, Pete. Phenomenal performance by Charlie Quinn. Belinda, we knew he was quick, and it went out of my mind, the record of Craig Walton, set way back in 1997. And he didn't just beat it, a record that has stood that long. He beat it by 1 minute.
He smashed it. And Jake Birtwistle, 1:44.05. He went under the record as well. So that's our top 2, Charlie Quinn and Jake Birtwistle, both going under that record.
So Jake Birtwistle, the former winner, he can be super happy with that result. Josh Ferris in a 3rd position. Max Newman, not in the top 10. He went across the finish line in 2nd place. Max Newman was disqualified. We're not exactly sure on all the details. It might have been transponder related because we weren't getting updates on him throughout the course. So it is Quinn the winner, Birtwistle in 2nd, Ferris in 3rd, McDonald was 4th, Free, who you expected to perform well, in 5th. William, last year's winner, in 6th. Not a bad performance at all. Colin in 7th. Conningham in 8th. It was Moody in 9th. And then it was Brad Course rounding out the top 10. And 10th place inside 1 hour and 50.
Unbelievable. Just shows you how fast it was out there today. And this is what I love. And we've seen it. We've started to see it in triathlon. These incredible improvements year after year. And they're getting faster.
Yeah, what a result it was by Charlie Quinn. And what an event it has been. It wouldn't be possible without the great sponsors. Obviously, Noosa itself, the local council, the state government as well, Visit Queensland, Garmin, huge supporters of this event.
Today.
One highlight from you, Belinda Granger.
Oh,
I'll give you 2.
One, come on. So definitely Super Saturday. I love that being back. We didn't get that last year, so to have Super Saturday back in the Legends Tri, Australian Crit Championships. But today, just seeing Amelia Watkinson have such an outstanding race to finish 2nd after not being able to race for most of the year, and Charlie Quinn taking a win at such a young age, showing maturity beyond his young years.
Yeah, I love the Asics Bolt yesterday. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to take 3. Seeing the surprise result, 2nd and 3rd in the women's race, seeing that result was a real highlight for me, and Charlie Quinn breaking the course record.
Amazing.
I'll take that home forever. 40th anniversary next year. What's the key message to everybody participating? Get in early?
Get in early. It is going to sell out within, honestly, I think it'll sell out within minutes. It really will. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I know that the team here are going to make it bigger and better, even though it's hard to find out where, but it's going to be truly amazing.
We're not sure how they're going to do it, but they will do it. Next year will be the 40th anniversary of the Garmin Noosa Triathlon. I've already booked it out in my calendar. I hope you have too. Belinda, thanks for joining me in commentary.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise for me, Belinda Granger, the winner of this race in 1998. Also thanks to Pete Murray, the on-course announcer doing the presentations. Congratulations to the winners. Charlie Quinn taking out the men's. Ashley Gentle for the 9th time. The age groupers, they're out on course. Their battle for some of them is just beginning. Thanks for watching. Until next year with the 40th anniversary, it's bye from the Garmin Noosa Triathlon.
When you don't need to worry, there'll be days like this. When no one's in a hurry, there will be days like this. When all the parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit. My mama told me there'll be days like this. My mama told me there'll be days like this.
Training program, week 3, day 4.
Training program, week 5, day 2.
Week 6, day 4.
I feel a strong connection.
It echoes in your mind.
It's like you feel the energy in return.
Pushes you forward. You sense its power.
As you exceed your limits.